Hi, welcome to another episode of the Paige Doodle Club. Today we will be drawing a cement truck. So grab your drawing supplies, don't be afraid to make mistakes, and let's get right to it. To start our cement truck, I'm going to make an angled line. This is where the windshield of the cab will be. And then I'm going to come straight down. This is where the grille would be on the front. Then we can make the bottom edge the start of a wheel. Actually, might as well go ahead and make that wheel while we're at it. So make yourself a circle there. And at the top here, we're going to round off for the roof. And the cab is going to be pretty small. And then we're going to come straight down again. And this rounded part that I'm making for the wheel well right next to the wheel, I'm going to have just come straight across and meet the back of the cab there. Now the windshield would be in this area here. So I'm going to make my door window about like this. And it's all going parallel to the other edges. So this is pretty parallel. That's parallel to the bottom, parallel to the back, parallel to the top. And then each of these corners is just rounded slightly. So there's the start of our truck. This would also work for a dump truck or most kinds of trucks, really. You can start with this shape. Next I'm going to create a door, so right behind that window, just a straight line down almost all the way to the edge. Then we're going to just follow this curve right here. And then come forward slightly. And then we're going to follow the curve of the front of the truck. And we want to meet back up right by the window. So there's our door. We'll put a little rectangle for a door handle. So some of these seem like pretty complex shapes, but if you take it little by little, there's really not a whole lot going on in there. Next we're going to put an oval for a headlight. And you can kind of do a little scribble here for the lens. And the driver is going to want some mirrors. So I'm going to start with a very squared off letter C. It's almost like a staple shape. And then I'm just going to I'll just put one mirror. Usually they'd probably have two or three here, but I'm going to make one long rectangle around that staple for the mirror. And just above this wheel well line, I'm going to come across from the back. I'm going to make my cement truck fairly short, but it will still need two more wheels back here, same size as the front one. So the challenge is make two more circles that are the same size as your first one. And if you've watched the other vehicle episodes, you probably already know how to finish out these wheels, but we're going to make a smaller circle inside of the first one. And shade in this outer edge. And then inside of that, we're going to make the center of the hubcap. And I'm actually going to kind of do like a crescent moon shape here, so I'm not going to draw the entire circle of the inside, I'm just going to imply it. Sometimes drawing less is better. That old adage that less is more. So same thing here, we're going to shade in the tire. And then we'll make a crescent moon shape. And one more. Practice makes perfect. When I first started drawing cars, wheels were always the thing that would ruin. I would get a drawing almost done, and I'd be really happy with it, and then I would add the wheels, and it would totally ruin the whole thing. So if you're having a hard time with your wheels, hang in there. If you keep practicing it, they'll get a little better every time. Next, we're going to make that crescent shape again, like that. And we're going to make a line coming across, and I'm going to make it so that it follows that line at the bottom of the cab. So this is the platform that the whole cement mixer sits on. And next I'm going to put the exhaust coming up. So that's just two straight lines coming up that hook off towards the front. Sometimes they go towards the back. This is going to be one of the ones that's got that little like cap right here. I'm going to make a circle right here. This is going to be the powerhouse that turns all of the cement. And coming up from that, we've got a letter L flopped sideways and another line. So it's kind of a rectangle behind that circle. Now inside of this, or excuse me, connecting to this, I'm going to make a smushed letter C that comes almost to the platform. And then I'm going to run along the platform a little bit and try to keep this part symmetrical. This is the tricky part. Like this one I made a little too vertical for how that line is, so now I'm going to try to flatten it out a little bit. Kind of like that. And then I'm going to connect this. So now it almost looks like there's a big satellite dish on the back of the truck. So we've got half of the mixing portion done. And I think at this point, I probably should have already done this. I'm going to make a line very lightly coming back so I know what my center is. So this curve here really should have been right there. And now that I have this line at the back, I might make a perpendicular line like that. And then we can connect this part up to that and this part to that. Almost looks like the cannon for a human cannonball, but it's not quite as exciting. And then you need the support back here that's helping to hold the whole thing and keep it spinning. And I think that's probably about like this. So we've got two lines at slightly different angles coming up to meet that. And you can shade this whole thing. You can color your truck in whatever color you'd like. Here in Medfield, we've got cement trucks driving through all the time. Anybody that lives in Medfield is more than familiar with the cement trucks. Hopefully on your commute to work you don't get stuck behind one. It definitely slows things down a bit. And there's your cement truck. You could add your name to the side or coming along here if you want. The rest of it is up to you how you'd like to decorate it, but there's the basics of how to make a cement truck. All right, so here is our finished cement mixer. I hope you enjoyed following along, and now you can look up the song Cement Mixer Putty Putty that my grandfather taught me years ago. I hope you enjoyed following along, and tune in next time for another episode of the Mike Paige Doodle Club.
All right, kids, now that you've finished your doodles, color them in and then share them with both Mike Paige and Medfield TV. We're going to take those images and we're going to put them all over our station. Can't wait to see what you guys make.